So I'm going to do my little introduction first, so that way I can just... Nah, I'm not. Never mind. It's okay. I'll just start it, I guess.
Let's just go into it.
We'll just start it. Okay, so you are I'm gonna put you up on this little pedestal here for a second.
Oh god. I'm gonna knock myself right off.
You are the queen of the Darkiplier fan art, and the creator of the Darkiplier AUs and everything. You're like the person that everyone looked at it and went, I want to do that too.
Oh god.
So that's what happened. And that's how I found you, because I remember it was like 3 years ago when I first realized that I actually liked Mark's work. Because before that I didn't like him. And I know he said something about you back then. And I was like, oh, I gotta check this out. So then I'd look, and then I know the first piece of art that I saw you do was it had a red background. It said, "Are you afraid of the dark?" And then it was Dark just sitting there with his shadowy powers going on. And I was like, I like that, so I'm gonna follow her and see if I can see anything else. And so since then, I've been a big fan, and then I'm still a big fan.
Thank you.
I came for the Darkiplier and then stayed for all the raccoon references, and then Danny just became my favorite, and then it was like, okay, I was
hanging about. That's cool. Oh man, you've been around for a very long time, because I don't have a lot of my original followers. Well, ones that I recognize their names. People change their usernames all the time, but you've stayed consistent and you've always been a big support, and I appreciate you for that. Like, that's really cool that you've been around since, my god, I can't even remember when I posted that drawing you spoke of. That's way old. It's way old stuff. Oh my god.
I've been around
going down.
too long.
That's going down memory lane, man.
I don't know. I mean, I guess when it comes to Mark stuff, I did like 2015 and 2016. Probably like early 2016. No, it was 2016 just in total. I didn't watch probably anything. If I did, it was rare, because I had my boyfriend at the time, and I was more focused on him than I was anything else. And then then basically I just kind of fell out of it because Matt got hired, and I had been working and trying to get in contact with Mark for editing for him, and so basically my feelings got hurt. And I'm like, well, I'm just, gonna just focus on other things in my life, and then things kind of started to fall downhill after that, and then basically I started to realize that I missed it, that I missed that dream. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna work for that again. And then I went back at it, and this was around when he made his vlogs, the Believe in Yourself, and then another one, Dealing with Hate, that one. And I was like, I'm gonna go back in this and stuff like that. And then like I was practicing more and trying to get more into edits and stuff, and then Ethan got hired, and then it felt a little different with Ethan, because I didn't, like, my feelings didn't get hurt that time. And I think that's just because I love Ethan. I think he's like a cinnamon roll. And so...
He is. He's a precious little bean, He's real sweet.
He's great. Everyone loves him. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's been a long journey. And I know it's had to have been a long journey for you too, because I know that you stopped doing dark fan art for a long time.
Yeah.
And,
for a year, roughly. A little over a year, I think.
What happened to make you not want to do dark fan art anymore?
God, it was a conglomerate of stuff. And before I start on that, I just want to say that looking at your stuff now, I think a big reason that your feelings have changed is you're exploring more in your art itself, not just because you are making fan stuff, but you are making it your own thing. Like, I see a ton of fan video stuff. I don't always check them out because it's not really my go-to thing, but I lurk and I poke around and I see what people are doing, from time to time when I get some time off. And I can see you're more focused on kind of where you want to go with your career, or even if this is a hobby in the future. I don't know where you want to go with it, you know, how serious you are, or, you know, you're having fun.
Yeah.
So, and I like seeing, you know, you explore that, you know, side of your work.
Well, it's
but
like, I'll sit there and I'll go, oh, I'm making this to test out text animations or to test out transitions or blah blah blah, and that's what those are. Is like they're not really. They are fan edits. Like I made one that was I don't even know how to say the word, but it's that one video that I worked on. It was a Mark Dark edit that I did, and that was just pure fan edit because I'm like, ooh, this is cool. But I was trying new things in that video too. I was trying out the glitch effect that I had. I was trying out shaking text animation. You know, I was trying these things out, and for some reason, I just don't like that video. I don't like how it came out for some reason. No, I don't.
Is that the Dark Mark video that you made?
No, it's the it was one I made after that. I'm gonna look.
Yeah, you have like 4 of them up. I don't know if I watched all of them or not.
For someone who's terrified of dark, you'd think that I wouldn't touch nothing. But what is it?
You can't stay away from him. You always come back, you know?
Yeah, it's awful. it's
Tell me about it.
It's the destabilized. I don't know. I just don't like it. I look at it now and I'm like, I'm not a big fan of this for some reason.
You tried it, you know, and maybe you'll use it later in a different video, but the point is that you tried it, you know, and you got to see what you like and what you don't like. So, you know, that.
I am. I'm always trying to try out new stuff, and so if I'm not trying to talk too good about myself, but I mean, I'm just like, I know that I'll go to channels and it'll be people who just purely make fan edits just because they like making fan edits. And I enjoy it too, but at the same time I'm like, I'm just using this so that way I can test out different things with the program.
Right.
And I doubt anybody knows that, but that's
not unless you tell them.
Yeah, they're gonna look at it and be like, hey, another Markiplier fan, but that's what it is, I swear.
Well, you just keep at it, because I can see you're really passionate about it, so you're doing fine with that. I should probably stay on topic with your questions. I get off topic real bad, so you gotta kind of like push me, like, hey, answer this. So your question was, what made me stop, right? At the time, this was around the start of 2016. I'm terrible with dates. 2016, late 2015. I was in school at the time, and the workload started to get really, really ridiculous, and I could not keep up with the demand of staying, you know, I was really watching a lot of Mark's videos, and then I kind of fell out of watching a lot of Let's Play stuff, and school was just very consuming for me. Like, I was doing a lot of 3D art at the time, and I don't know if you've ever touched like Maya or anything like that, but that is a total like life consumer. Yeah. So I would go to school, go to those classes for about, 3 hours, or stay there for 6 hours, and then I didn't have a car, so I had to take like the light rail and the bus home. So that was like another hour and a half just to get home, and then whatever projects I had to do, those took another like 8 hours to do. So I had zero time to really dedicate to the character, to the fandom, to anything, and it was just really, I couldn't get into it, and the idea of Dark was kind of, I don't know, he was kind of all over the place, and I couldn't really focus on him because of school, so I was like, okay, I don't really want to get rid of him, I want to shelve him, and when I feel like it, I'll come back to him. So, and that's where I'm at right now, so, it just, it took years. Yeah. And his story has changed completely. Before he was a little, he was a nightmare kind of creature where I wanted him to be the personification of Mark's fears and stuff like that. Stuff that, as an artist myself, I'm afraid of, like fear of like failure and all this other kind of stuff. And I wanted to make a little story based around that and talk about that and have a theme on that. And after a while, I was like, I don't know if I like him being so connected to Mark, because then I couldn't really find an appropriate ending for what I was doing. So that in itself, because he was so tied to Mark in his original story, was frustrating. But now he's a little cryptid creature of his own. He's a doppelganger. And he's a mix of a couple other things with it, but I don't want to say too much because I'm working on a project with Mivy on that. So
Spoilers.
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! He's a different creature. He's not connected to Mark. He's just borrowing his face because he's a creep.
He's spooky scary.
Yeah.
It's terrifying to me. And then I love, like, I noticed that your art style has changed too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I'm like, hey, this looks super cool. And I love, like, all your art, and I mean, but I can just see it, like, changing and growing. I can't find the picture, and it upsets me. But my favorite picture that you still ever drew was the one where he's doing his girly scream.
That one I remember because I posted the comment thing a couple of days ago where I said about the Darkiplier answers. You're talking about. I was talking about that. It wasn't an answers response. It was a response onto one of a different post itself. I can probably find it later and send it to you, but I'd have to go digging through my files and see where did I put it because everything's just buried. But that one wasn't tagged. It might be under one of my old little secret tags that I have everything kind of shelved under a little bit. I just do that because some people like to resurface old art. I'm like, no, please don't, because I'm not returning back to that. It's a little frustrating.
I know if you search Google and you search Darkiplier, yours is like right up there. And
it's up there.
Oh yeah, that's the wonderful thing I wanted us to talk about was art theft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That fun thing.
Oh,
that thing.
Yeah. Because Google likes to call you out and be like, hey, look at this art. Make sure you take it and post it on Instagram and everything else. And I know that I follow, on my Instagram account, I made it because people were stealing my Vine edits. And,
oh, man.
I'd call them out and be like, hey, this is mine, by the way. And they'd go, oh, well, make sure to put credit to you. And I'm like, awesome. Just let you know, I'm here. I can see it.
Well, you've had better experiences than me. I would tell people, hey, can you, link back to me or take it down if you don't want it? And then I just get yelled at. I'm like, oh, all right, cool, thanks. Never mind. I guess I'll just forget you posted my stuff and I'll be on my way.
I'll just act like this didn't bother me and I'll just leave.
It got to the point. Like, I think some people thought when I shelved Dark that it was because of the art theft, which was really bad in my case, because I was kind of, at the time, one of the bigger producers of the ass stuff and things like that. I was one of the few doing that frequently before things obviously got too chaotic with school. And there was a lot of people that I didn't know until it was brought to my attention on Instagram that were just taking, like, my whole gallery. It wasn't like every other image. Like, some people would take an image and put it on their account. I was like, nah, it's kind of annoying. But I had a few instances where people would just steal, like, they would steal my entire gallery and then they would steal fan art that people made for me of Dark. Yeah. And put it up all on their page, and it was just to get attention that way. It wasn't like, it's such a, like, a petty thing, like, just to get attention and make yourself feel good. I'm like, yeah. And then I can see people in the comments on the Instagram photo saying, who made this? And you're not telling who made it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm losing, that's something, like, when it comes to art that people don't understand, is when you take someone's work, especially if it's not watermarked, which was my fault with some of those, because I just treated them as sketches. I didn't really care. To sign them, I should have, but I'm dumb and I didn't do it. Is when you take people's art and you spread it around, you make it difficult to find the original source. And if you don't link back to the original source, you're taking possible commissions away from artists who have that as their livelihood. Yeah. And you're basically taking jobs away from them when you do that. It's, even if you don't mean it in a mean way, you should at least always give credit, when credit is due. And if the artist asks you, most importantly, don't fight with the artist. Don't be mean. Don't say, well, you shouldn't have posted it on the internet. It's like, it's how I share my work, you know, but you can be polite and use the appropriate share buttons and put a link to my Tumblr, Twitter, whatever, you know. Help an artist out. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah, because I remember a few years ago, this was like 2013, 2014? I think it was 2014. I would take art and I would post it on my old Instagram page, and I didn't realize that was art theft.
Yeah, most people don't. They don't know.
They don't.
Go ahead.
Just
sorry.
like, oh, I'm just gonna post this because I saw it online and I want to post it because, you know, I want to write a caption or something under it. And I know back then I really did not know about that. And then there was even something I put on Redbubble, and I don't know why I did this, but I did. It was something that I found, and I put it on Redbubble, and then all of a sudden on like Tumblr, I realized I had a few asks, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll check these out, and it's all people going, okay, hey, you got something on your Redbubble that needs to be taken down, and it was that picture, and it was, I don't remember her name, but she makes chimney.
Right. Okay.
It was something she made, and she actually messaged me, and she goes, hey, I was wondering if you could take that down. And I did. It was like right away, I took it down, and then I messaged her back. I'm like, I'm really sorry. If I made any money off of this, I will gladly give it to you. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I posted that a long time ago. I forgot it was even on there. And then she's like, oh, it's fine as long as you took it down. And I was like, okay. And I felt really bad about it. And I feel like that might be the case for other people too. Like, if maybe not in the sense of Redbubble, but even on Instagram or whatever, I don't understand why people fight. And they're like, well, I can post anything I want because it's the internet, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand the purpose of that, because that's just making it to where the artist can easily go, because I know you've even said this, an artist can easily just stop.
Yeah. And it's true. It's frustrating, especially when you're being nice and you're being polite, and then they try to twist things around and saying, well, you were mean to me. It's like, I just told you to take my picture down, and you're yelling at me now. It's like, it's a headache nobody wants to put up with.
Yeah.
And when you put an artist or any kind of content creator in that position, you know, it's frustrating, because what's the point of me sharing my stuff if someone is just going to keep tabs on me and keep taking my work and, you know, redistributing it without crediting me? You know, it comes back to the commission thing, and it's not always about you know, stealing jobs and stuff. It's just it's rude. You know, don't do it. And if you're unsure, like, I know it's frustrating for some people because they can't get in contact with an artist. Like, the artist is either not online that much, or they're, you know, they don't answer their messages. If you're not sure if you should take work, it's probably good not to do it, but I realize it's the internet. People are going to do it anyway. So at least put a link back to where you found it. You know, I'm just a realist in that sense, that I know people are going to take things, so at least please put who the correct artist is on there, and spell their name right. Please spell their name right. I've seen my username spelled completely wrong before. I'm like, oh, you were close, but you stuck a few extra letters in there for some reason. I don't know why.
Has anyone ever said haleyscomett-art?
No, I have not seen that, but now I probably will.
Honestly, that's what I thought it was for like a year.
That's fine.
Because
like, the S in between?
I guess. I would always say haleyscomett-art, and then I tried to search it that way and it never come up. I'm like, what the heck? And then I'm like, oh. I was wrong.
That's a little bit of a goof there. I guess if you're not familiar with Halley's Comet, you know, the actual comet, then you might not make the connection, but I don't know. That's a good mess up. That's good. That's my alter ego. How about that? That's my dart.
That's your dart.
Yeah, art theft is just one of those things on the internet that, as a content creator on the internet, where you know, you're not going to an art gallery, you know, in person. You're posting your work online. You run the risk of people stealing your things, and you know, I've seen horror stories where people. I remember this one a long time ago on DeviantArt. this lady made it was something with her face in it. Her face was in this photograph, right? Mm-hmm. This own photo edit that she made, and some company in some other country took the photo for their own like brand purpose things that they were making on posters, and they made money off of it. And she was like, "That's my face." And that wasn't for sale. Like, I mean, you just run that risk of people being that low to do that. And it sucks too when it's in another country, because you're like, how do I fight this? You know, it puts you in a real tight situation. But watermarks, I emphasize watermarks. I've learned my lesson. You know, put it on there. You don't, I also, I love watermarks, but I hate watermarks because I feel like it kind of ruins the piece, because I'm putting something in there it's a stamp, and to me it's like, I want you to look at the whole picture and not this little thing on there. So usually what I try to do is I try to make it the same kind of color as the rest of the piece, so it's not as glaring. Mm-hmm. But you know, stick it on there somewhere, make sure it's readable. People are crappy, and they will obviously try to, you know, crop it out, or they'll ink it out, in which case those people need to have their computers taken away from them, because I mean, I don't like them.
Bags right there.
Yeah, please don't do that.
I don't like when you do something like that. You know it's wrong, and I'm talking specifically to those people if they're listening. If you take out a watermark of some kind of art that you see, that is wrong, and you know it's wrong, because it's obviously there for a reason. You can look at it and go, oh, this looks ugly, but that doesn't matter because you didn't make the piece. And I saw someone say when they do commissions, they'll put a watermark on there, and people would get mad because they're like, I paid for this, I don't want this watermark on there. And they're like, well, if you go to post it, I want people to know that I made this.
My mom just knocked on the door to give me a giant cream puff she made. It's huge. I'll eat it in a bit, but I'm still talking. Watermarks, and people, like with commissions too, they'll put those watermarks on so you won't go and sell it, because then they'll know, hey, you know, I printed there. It's really crummy that people go ahead and I've had it happen to me before, where people posted it like on Twitter, and I can see where they've took it in Photoshop and, you know, erased my watermark, or they just colored it over. I'm like, And my problem with a lot of my work is that I have big blank spaces around the figures that I draw. So like the background will be black, and that's just so easy to go in and color it over. Yeah. So sometimes you'll see I'll write my name around the character. Some people still go in and do it. I can't stop those people. It's just, you gotta report it where you can, but that's another thing I want to get to. And I told you a little bit about it the other day, and my feeling about sharing art with it, and that I was in a weird position because obviously my stuff was taken a lot in the past, and it's still taken a bit now too. I try not to yell at people on Instagram anymore. Like, I don't like to do that. A lot of them are younger, and they just have kind of immature mentality when it comes to that, and they just want to fight you, and I don't have time for that.
They're like the younger fans that are like, I'm just doing this because I saw it and I liked it.
Yeah, and I just can't. The only times I really kind of get upset now is people putting my stuff like on Redbubble, selling it. Like, if you're making money off of my work, that's not cool. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that to any artist at all unless they've given you permission, like it was some stock thing, and they're like, whatever, you know, it's free for commercial use, go for it. You know, if you don't have permission, do not put it on any website where you can sell it. I know some people try to do that to like make their own t-shirt. And I had a couple instances after the charity stream a couple weeks ago where I checked Redbubble, and people actually took the design from the one that Mark edited and put up on the site to buy. They actually took it from the site, tried to make a little minor edit crop around it, and put it up on Redbubble to sell. I was like, nope, that's gotta go. Jeez. But that was taken down within a few hours, so that wasn't too bad. But it's just things like that. Like, please don't do that. Don't take fan art is the worst because obviously people love fan art. It's the first thing they're gonna search. It's like, I like this thing and I want a shirt or a poster of this thing, and they're not selling it, so therefore I'll, buy it my own. Like, don't do that, please, because you don't take it down, and then other people make money off of that. And that's crappy.
There was only one time where I asked the artist. It was City Cat Slack Day. Miss Day. I asked her, I was like, hey, because she made this dark design, and I was like, hey, is it okay if I take this and I put it on a shirt just for me to have? And she's like, okay, well, just for you, no one else. I was like, all right. That's awesome. So I went on Redbubble, I put the design up there, and then I put it on, this is some advice for all you Redbubble people, put your item on private so no one can see it. And then I bought it myself, so basically the only people who got money were the people making the shirt, which was Redbubble. And then I got the shirt in, and then I took it down right after that. And then when I got the shirt in, I showed it to her. The coloring was a little different because it was a black shirt. I still have the shirt, but the coloring is a little different because of the shirt. And she loved it. She thought it was cool. But if you're gonna do that, first make sure you ask the artist, and second, make sure you put it on private, so that way no one else can buy it, and then third, delete it, so that way no one can get it at all, even if they somehow happen to find it. So
somehow magically unprivate it, right?
Yeah, it just magically just shows up, and it's like, oh no. But that was the only time I've done that. I've bought a few things off Redbubble, but I always make sure that it's not stolen, because if it is, I feel real bad.
That's another thing too. If you're having a gut feeling like you think the person who has uploaded isn't the artist, don't buy from them, because your gut feeling is usually pretty on par. Like you can ask somebody, like, do you have a link to their, where else have you shown your art other than Redbubble? You can send them you can send people mail on Redbubble too, and I know other websites have that as well. So if you really, really love something, but you're unsure if this is reposted to art or not, please ask.
Yeah.
Just do that, and look for links. Most people try to put links to their other socials on there, or search their username, try to find them that way.
Yeah.
But there's I know when I looked on Redbubble, there was, I don't know who the artist is anymore, but it's the icon Mark has for his channel, and I see it on there, and it's a little bit edited, looks like the color's a little bit different, but I'm like, that's somebody else's art, and I know it's on DeviantArt buried somewhere. Mark may have it on his DeviantArt in his likes or something like that, his favorites, said likes. I don't know what social media I'm on, but it may still be there. I haven't gone to DeviantArt in forever, but just don't, it's just fan stuff. Don't do it, man. It's not nice. It's just, it's bad. I could say 10 million horrible things about it, but you get the point. So just don't do it.
Just don't.
Yeah, and another thing too, some artists are really cool with you sharing their work, and others they'll chop your hand off if you do it. They really don't like it. And I guess to an extent, a couple of a year and a half ago, it was more that way. Please don't repost it. A lot of cases is because people weren't crediting me, so it was just let's just stop sharing it if you're not going to credit. But if you really like something and you want to repost it, there's usually share buttons. On Tumblr, there's on most blogs, there's the ability to share it on Facebook or Twitter or other things, and it will link back to the original source, so you don't even have to do anything. It's right there for you. But if you do like an image and you want to repost the image, please don't crop out the watermark, don't white it out, and link to the original source. Those 3 things. Do that. Be a good person. Don't be a bad person. Please help an artist out.
Redbubble is very tricky in itself too. Reposting's tricky. Art is a very finicky thing online, because there's just so many ways that it can go wrong. And
yeah, and I always laugh with my friends, because I'm like, I'm gonna see my art at some point, a Chinese knockoff kind of thing. It'll just someone will send me an image, they'll just be walking through some little shop, and there it is, like recolored and all this other kind of crap on it. Like, oh, okay, that's great. There's a part of me that wants, like, if my friend was like in some town somewhere and they saw that, like, please buy it for me so I can have my own rip-off knockoff version. But you know, yeah, people steal, they get shared around, and you can't do anything about it. It's especially if something goes viral. That's the worst.
Yeah.
That is the legit worst, because then it's just everywhere. People have shared it. People have saved it. You know, you can't undo it. And it's difficult to. I know in the past I've heard a couple things like I know Wade has said it a couple times on Twitter, and he's been pretty vocal about it. And I've talked to other people who've talked to him about it. Like, I don't pay attention to it too much, but I'm sure it happens. Especially it happened in the past where people would tweet at them, and they would tweet art at them, and they would retweet it. But the problem is people would steal art to try to get a retweet from them. And if you notice, they've kind of stopped doing that a lot more. And I think that may be part of the reason. I can't speak for them. I don't want to speak for them, but if I was to take a stab in the dark, I'd say, you know, that may be part of the reason. You know, they're busy too, but I did notice that, you know, when anyone tried to share things with them, for them, it got to the point where they actually had to say something like, please don't repost artwork, because we want to share and give credit to the original artist. But if you're taking someone else's work and I'm sharing it, and it's getting, you know, obviously they have a big audience, so it's going to get all these likes, and the person's just going to get, you know, attention. All you're getting is 15 minutes of fame, and the artist is being thrown under the rug, and it's just a horrible situation all the way around, because it's like, then what after your 15 minutes of fame? What do you have? You know, you're going to keep doing it. It encourages bad behavior, and they don't want to do that. So.
Yeah. I noticed that Mark's not really on Tumblr that much anymore.
He's a busy dude. He's a busy dude. He is very busy. Because the night he contacted me about the Darkiplier shirt things, he freaked me out, actually, because I was talking to Mibby on Skype, and I noticed my phone was going off, right? And I was like, oh god, who's messaging me? You know, on Twitter, I could see them getting tweets, and I saw the little icon in my Twitter messages, right? And it says Markiplier, and I thought, oh, it's somebody trying to pretend to be him, right? You know, someone trying to fake this and be a troll, whatever. And then I clicked his name, and I saw a little check mark. I was like, oh, never mind. It's actually him. This is weird. But he was being all nostalgic and things about that. So he messaged me, and then later he wanted to message me again, but it took him a couple of days to do that, because he was doing all these kind of things, and he apologized, like, sorry, we were busy, and like when the shirts finally got counted, he contacted me again, because he, you know, was like, hey, just wanted to let you know and stuff, but it was like, to get a hold of him is difficult, because he is doing like 9 million things, and he's got his own little setup to do stuff. So like for me, it was like that experience of that. It's like, okay, now I understand a little bit of what you're doing, like just through a little bit of interactions. Like I'm very flexible when people message me in contact. I'm not like, oh, you need to message me like right away, but he definitely, like, he has to kind of take his time with that. And he said before in videos that he's bad at messaging back, and I believe it. But I'm not gonna, like, you know, chastise him for that or anything. Like, the dude's got 9 million projects to do.
I mean, it's bad because I'm the same way, and my friends all hate me for it, but it's like, so I do know that in that video I watched, he's like, oh yeah, it can take me up to 3 days to reply to someone. I'm like, ha, same. I'm like, oh, I get it. But I do know that he's probably got way more going on than I do. He's got, I know he has said a gazillion times that he's planning out the tour stuff, and they're trying to get the show and all that ready, so I know that's taking up a lot of his time. And I'm actually getting, it kind of makes me sad when people, like, get upset that he's not very active on social media, and they've done the same thing.
You can't be.
Yeah, it's like, you guys, you don't understand. He's super busy. This is his job. He's a busy man with his job, and I know Ethan's the same way, and Ethan even apologized, though, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not really active on social media. You feel bad. And I'm like, no, it's all right. Like, we know you're busy, but it upsets me when I see people who are like, oh, they need to get on here more and blah blah blah. And I noticed that some people will tag him over and over and over again and things.
He doesn't read those, but you can go ahead. You're lucky if you get him to see one of those, because I can guarantee you, if one person is adding him and tagging him, he's got about 1,000 more people doing that, and not on the same post either. It could be on 10 different other, millions of different other posts on Tumblr, or like people adding him on Twitter. It's crazy, and it's different if you don't have like an influx of like huge notifications and stuff like that. Like even after the charity stream, like I got more messages in my inbox, and I spent like, I was spending like the first 3 hours like answering people, and I'm like, I can't keep up. How does he do this? Like there's no physical way. You can't get things done.
Yeah.
I think is what people miss, is that I think he would love, and that's why he gets kind of really upset. And I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but just looking at like how he speaks, to us in like vlogs and things like that, where he's like, I wish I could do more. It's not everyone has an audience of 17 million, and you can't cater to 17 million. It's impossible to do that. And I'm really astounded that he can actually go about and do the things that he can do, because I think some people would just be overwhelmed and they're like, I can't do this, but he doesn't really let it get to him. Although some people might disagree, but I will disagree with them, so I don't care. It's you can stay online all day and answer messages, or you can interact here and there when you can and get back to work, because at the end of the day, people are watching to see what you're going to do as a content creator. And I'm a little bit different because I'm not a video, maker. I don't make videos or anything. I paint, and I make, stuff with my hands that way. But I have more time to talk to people, and I wish I could grant him more time to do that, because I know he really would love to do that. And you can see that in past conventions where I went to, and they stood in line for like 8 hours just meeting people. Like, I hate standing at work for 5 hours at a copy machine making copies for things. Standing there and talking to 8 hours worth of people. Oh my God! Like I can't even imagine that. That's insane. It's crazy, and that's an overwhelming. Just the feelings you get from that and everything, and his voice is shot all the time after a convention, or now he just gets sick, so that's a nice trade-off.
Yeah, he just gets bronchitis.
He's around everybody, and he gets colds and flus and things. So, yeah, that's good.
It gets everyone else sick. Like,
yeah, he has a good time, and you come back and you're dying in bed. Like, that's not what I wanted to do. And it sucks because they're always so energetic after a call. Like, oh, that was awesome. I'm inspired again, and then I'm sick.
Oh man, it was great, but now my throat doesn't feel too well. Oh.
Yeah, now I can't record really. It's not good.
Well, that's like I think that's one of the biggest things that drives me in my passion. It's because of the fact that I know he doesn't have a lot of time, and I know that he's very adamant about wanting more time, and so there will be things that I'll see where he'll go, oh, I had to go to a business meeting, so stuff's gonna be late because we didn't get everything edited, and I'm like, I can do that, like that's the thing I want to do, and so I'm like, but the problem is I don't have any way to contact the dude. He's got so many emails. Mine, I know... He doesn't read his emails too much anymore, I don't think, unless he's really gotta check. Because I remember, it was a couple years ago now? I'm terrible with dates. He said to a point, he's like, I don't really check those, because he's like, it was like 5,000 in the queue or whatever, and a lot of those are people saying, play this game, or... probably just spam emails too. I mean, my God, he's probably got, I don't know how many junk emails. I don't even like looking at my email. If there's 10 in there, I'm like, maybe tomorrow. Yeah. I don't even want to look. I can't even fathom like 5,000. I'm like, nope, just gonna delete them all. Sorry, I can't read these. It's too much. I don't have not enough hours in the day. Can't do it. But I think
I mean, I commend you for wanting to work with him and stuff. I don't know if he needs another editor. I think what you're doing right now is kind of cool, like interacting with the fandom, but being your own person and your own artist and what you're doing. I think that's cool, and I like that you're really pushing yourself and trying different video editing things. And have you done, because I talked to you about lynda.com yesterday, but I don't know if you've ever been on it before.
I've seen it before, but I totally forgot about it. But then when you sent me the link, I was like, hey, I've been here before. And I know it's because I was looking for video editing classes online, and then that's the first website that came up. And I never did it because I'm like, oh, I don't know why I didn't do it, but I just didn't do it. But I do have it saved. It's in my bookmarks right here. I'm looking at it. I haven't looked at it today, but I am going to look at that, and I am going to do the 10 free days so that way I can find out these new things that I can do. And I'm going to look for their YouTube channel and look at that. And I mean, for me, literally, the lifesaver for me has been, tutorials on YouTube. Adobe offers free like videos to help with their things, and that's very helpful. And like the shake effect, which I use in like everything I make because I love that effect. That's a manual thing. It's not like, an effect you have to download or anything. It's manual. So I just have to figure out how to do it. And a lot of my work I do is in After Effects and in Premiere Pro.
Right.
Because After Effects is very helpful with like some music things, and it's very helpful. And
you can do everything in After Effects. It's very all-encompassing for the most part.
Yeah, After Effects is amazing. But I am also, I don't know if you've heard me say this, but I know I've told somebody this. I'm the type of person that feels like when it comes to videos or video editing or something like that, I feel like it's very similar to art. I feel like video editors and artists have a lot in common. Because I do make art too. I don't think it's good, but I still do it. But I still feel like it's similar because of the fact that, the theft thing, when people steal art or they steal edits or whatever, it's very similar because it's like, it makes you upset. You made something and someone took it. It's very upsetting. But it's also the same in the fact of you're like, I want to be better. And I noticed Kimmy has said this on Twitter a lot. She's like, I want to get better. I wanna improve every day.
She's doing better.
Be better. And and I think she's doing great. And I miss her. I don't know why. I just feel like she's just been gone for a long time, but it just feels like that for some reason.
She's been busy with her own life and moving and stuff like that. She's definitely got her own little thing going on, but she's pushing herself. Art and video making is an art. It's an art too. What you make, because I think a lot of people, especially when they look at Mark and Jack and Pewds and all the big name guys and just anyone on YouTube really that puts a lot of effort into their videos. I think they think like, oh, it's just, slap it in there and all that stuff. Like, no. You have to understand that when they do little things like zooming on his face or, doing a little montage thing here or there, or even changing the audio, you have to go in and make sure, it's in the correct, spot in the timeline and everything like that. And then make sure at the end, everything is rendered out correctly, because I can't tell you how many times in class, like, I rendered something that's like, oh no, I messed up, I forgot to put something in, and then I have to go back and then I have to render that, and depending how long your video is, that can take hours to do, especially if you're rendering out After Effects on high quality. But I'd have 30 seconds worth of animation sometimes, or like a minute worth, and that would take sometimes like over an hour just to get a minute's worth of video rendered because of what I was doing.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me, and I was like, oh. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
And people kind of think that it's like, oh, in some of the panels and stuff that Mark and everyone has been on, it's people think that they should move to LA to do the things he does. And one of them, he stopped and said, okay, why are you moving to LA? Because if you can stay where you're at and make content, do it. The only reason Mark really moved was because it was, YouTube headquarters is there, and there's a lot more opportunities for him to work with other YouTubers. But he's been vocal about it. He doesn't like LA, and being a Californian myself, I'm a Northern Californian, and don't really like LA myself. I don't like the culture there. There's kind of a more, it's more about, in quotation marks, the industry, and people are always kind of, I don't know, I feel like they're always trying to like step on you and one up you, and it's just kind of really competitive, and I don't like that. And not to mention traffic is a nightmare. Like, you can't go anywhere. And I remember that was something he first complained about when he first moved to LA. And I was like, yep, I knew it. That was going to be the first thing. That was going to be the first complaint, was the traffic, because there's more cars in LA than there are people, and you're going to get stuck in traffic at some point, and you're not going to get anywhere for at least an hour. Yeah, that's not an exaggeration. Like, you can be stuck there for a very, very long time. It's ridiculous.
I want to move to California, but that's just because I like busy cities. And so I do agree with that, though, is if you, because I can make my stuff here. My internet's not very good, so it may take a while for me to upload things. That's why I don't have an upload schedule, is because of the fact of, I can say, okay, I'm gonna record a video, and I'm gonna make it go up 2 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Well, depending on how long the video is and blah blah blah, it can definitely mess that up. So I don't have an upload schedule. But I want to move to California just because of the fact that I like it there.
Have you been here before?
No.
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 I like it there, but I've never been there. I heard good things.
Yeah, that's it though. It's from what I can see from specific people, Mark, Game Grumps, all the YouTube people that I watch that live in LA. From what I can see, it looks like a place that I would really enjoy. But I have not been there. I would like to go there first before I decide to move.
Visit.
Because of that,
visit first.
That's
what highly recommend. Like, before you move to California, visit and research first. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah. I know it's like expensive to live there.
Yes.
Or at least.
Yes.
I was going to say at least in LA, but you're saying yes, so I'm assuming all of California.
Yes, California is very expensive. I'm actually moving in about 8 weeks. I'm moving up to Washington and getting the heck out of here, so...
You're going to be close to me. I live in Michigan.
On the north.
It's kind of close.
We're going to have similar climate. It's going to be just the same.
Oh, boy. Don't move. To anybody, don't move to Michigan.
I've got relatives that moved back there. You guys can keep the snow.
Yeah,
no thanks.
We just got snow like 2 days ago. I'm like, it's spring. What?
Yeah.
Why?
Here you go, have some snow. I see the snow from other relatives, and I'm like, yeah, we got like a foot. I'm like, yeah, no, it's okay. Where I'm going, up in Washington, if it snows, it's like an inch, and it doesn't really stay too long, so it's not too bad. And in where I'm going, it doesn't rain that much. Like, and some people are like, oh, isn't Washington like nothing but rain? I'm like, yes, sure, believe that. Don't follow me. It's my state now.
Well, I did visit Washington because we went to see the White House and everything, and it was raining.
Oh, are you talking about Washington D.C. or?
Yeah. Oh wait, no.
Oh, I'm talking about Washington State.
Okay, I forget. Those are two different things.
Yeah, those are two different things, hon. Sorry.
Oh no. Anyway. I live in the U.S., I swear. I know my states. We learned them in school.
We're going to move past that. That didn't happen. It's fine.
Yes. Edit it out. Barry, edit it out. It's fine. But,
Barry, edit it out, please.
Me.
Montage.
I did want you to talk about Danny a bit. Not just because of the fact that I love him, but because of the fact that he's your OC, and I feel like more people need to know about him.
Sure, I can talk about the Dan Man. The vacuum man. Okay, so I should probably talk about his little origin and where he sprouted from. So it kind of ties back to Dark, and if you look back at some of the things couple pages back on my art blog, because I have my main and then I have my art one. That's just if people don't want to follow my main for silly things and art, they could just follow art. But a while back there, it had it as Dark written on there because I had shelved Dark, the Markiplier version, you know, the Darkiplier for a bit there, but I still liked the idea of what he was, and I wanted to play with that, even though I was busy with school, and I was like, oh, maybe there's something else I can do with that, and I can come back to Dark and change this idea up later. And I was like, okay, well, if that's going to be a thing, I don't want people to really mix up this Dark with the one that looks like Mark. So I was like, okay, I'll play with this looks a little bit, and you can see his face has changed quite a bit, and I've referenced more loosely off of British male model David Gandy. He was just a pick at the time, and he's kind of morphed into his own little features, but I was referencing that at the time. And he, like Dark, was a nightmare creature, and I've kind of kept that, but currently his nightmare abilities are he can, you know, see into people's dreams and stuff like that, and manipulate to get information out of people in their sleeping world. And he's got, I haven't drawn it yet, but he's got this kind of markings on his arms that look like tattoos, but it's actually sand that's ingrained on his arm. And that's kind of used for fighting, defense, and I'm being very loose with this because I am someone whose OCs tend to change a lot, and I'm still trying to like flesh him out because he's kind of sitting on the back burner now. He's not shelved, but I'm incorporating him into Dark Story as an agent that's part of a corporation thing that I'll talk about in a minute. There's a huge thing I've been working on, but yeah, Danny kind of originated from the idea of Dark being a creation of fears and like, oh, he's, you know, a nightmare kind of thing, and then I said, no, why don't I just say he's a nightmare and he's not like emotions or anything personified, because that's hard for me to work with for many reasons that I won't go into. I like felt pigeonholed with that, so I was like, okay, he's a nightmare creature, and his family was like a kind of fae type family, so they descended, and they're from like a group of assassins, and you know, he's got these kind of nightmarish abilities, but he's not I don't want to call him an anti-hero as much as just kind of like, I don't know what a good comparison would be, maybe like a dark elf or something like that. See, he's got quotation marks dark abilities, you know, he's not your stereotypical like superhero kind of guy. He's definitely fits more of the assassin kind of spy type deal. But his original story is still a big kind of work in progress, because I was kind of going back and forth what I wanted with him, and I'm taking him and his abilities and I'm putting him into Dark's world, which I'm working on a comic thing there. I'll just say it because now I'm dedicated to it. And so with Dark, he's a cryptid, and he was imprisoned in an agency that works with dealing with different cryptids and integrating them into human society and helping them hide their identity. Dark is a special cryptid who has to be locked in a cell because he's done some things, and I will not share those until later. And Danny works there as an agent on special cases, and I should probably put up something, because Vivi and I have been working on what the different organizations, the different sections of it are. I should probably put that up, and then you can read like more into what this organization does and the different specifications of people that work there.
I saw that you were a member in this organization. I was. That my little
shameless self-insert there. It's not going to be completely me, but I was like, well, might as well. I don't care. I'm making this, so it's just for fun. I'm throwing myself in there, though it's not me, wink. But so I have the prologue of the first part of the story done, and I have the first chapter that I'm working on with that too. So the prologue, there's a little bit here and there kind of things that I'm working on with that, but one reason you see me making things like the environments, like the door thing I put up on Twitter the other day, is because I'm fleshing out how I want the comic to look itself. So I kind of want something that is Darkiplier related, but also sticking in, you know, some of my characters in there, and just like I can't just have it be dark, or else it's just kind of be. Well, it won't be boring, but it'll be boring for me to work on. I don't think people mind seeing dark, but to me, it's like you need some friends to interact with, buddy.
Yeah.
So.
You need some.
Yeah, we need a cast. Yeah. So I'm gonna work on that, and I have a different theme and point I want to get across with his story this time, since he's a completely different creature. But I hopefully have not given away too much. I've just told you a basic, very kind of watered down setting. So
it's. I mean, if you don't want me to edit, I can just take it out. But
no, it's fine. It's fine. You can edit this however you want. Just, you know, cool. Edit me completely out. It's great.
No.
I didn't talk with her that day. It was a dream. I don't know what happened.
Just something happened. I don't know.
Yeah. Audio failed. Oh, damn.
Well, I don't know. I really like Danny. I like how he's being included in the story. I don't know why. Because when you drew Dark, I know a lot of people were like very like they talk about how they'd have like sex dreams with him and stuff like that. And
yeah, I ignore those comments.
What? Like, whoa. I'm not like it's. People find it weird, and I myself even find it weird. But I am terrified of Dark. And when you would
you should be this time. He's a straight up sociopath this time. I've worked out quite a few things with him. Maybe that's giving him a little bit too much. I don't know. You decide if he is or not. I guess I'll leave it up to you. But yeah, he's definitely not a guy I would want to meet in a dark alley.
I didn't like any of the dark edit stuff before, and now it's just worse. And I'm like, okay, I'd already hate this guy, and now it's just even worse. I love Warp Stash.
He's bringing him back.
Okay, I'm like, why can't we just bring him back?
He said in a video today, he was doing a stream. I missed it because I was asleep, but he uploaded it. You can watch it later. It's about an hour long, but about 20 minutes in, he was talking about, someone asked in the comment section, hey, you're going to bring, you know, whatever persona back? And he's like, yeah, Wilford's going to be back. And he sounded pretty excited about working with some characters and stuff like that. We'll see if he does something with it. He is a busy guy.
I hope he's in the show when he goes on tour.
That'd be cool.
Just appears. I'm like, oh.
He said that this is going to be a big production because he said there's going to be dancers and he's working with a director and all this kind of stuff. And he wants to make it affordable for people to go and check out. But it's pretty cool from what he was sharing. He can't share a lot because he gets Mr. Hyper and I'm excited, guys. You're gonna be so hyped. You're gonna be so excited. And I'm like, Mark, you need to calm down, Mr. Hyper little jelly bean.
I loved your impression of him. I'm excited.
It's like a golden retriever. He just starts, bouncing around off the walls. Like, I can't contain myself.
Oh my gosh,
it's beautiful, But
I like just talking about him. He's not here, so it's kind of sad. But I like talking about him in the setting because I wrote on Tumblr a few days ago. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what if he's like a rude person? I'm like, what if he's
nice?
I want to say that I want to work for him, and he just like laughs at me or something. I'm like, oh my god, what if it just turns out really bad? And I give myself such bad anxiety about it that I'm like, I don't think that I can talk to him because I see him as like a older boss type figure, and I'm like, I don't see him as someone who's only a few years older than me who just makes videos and just jokes around for fun. For some reason my mind just comprehends he's a business person, and so I mess.
He's also a giant nerd. I will say he's a giant nerd because I was freaking out when he was talking to me because I was like, he wants to use my work. What is this? And he's writing in all these like proper sentences and everything. Like, oh hey, yeah, would you mind? Like, I'm feeling nostalgic, and I felt kind of bad because he contacted me that night, and then he put up the video I Feel Lost about 2 hours after that, and then he said in the video, he's like, I was feeling nostalgic, and I was like, did I make you cry? I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Like, I hope I wasn't the result of that. I think he was just looking at all the art and stuff, and thinking back on things, but this nostalgia itself, you know, made him feel
Sad.
a little teary-eyed, a little like, you know, unsure of where he's going. Like, he's excited for all these projects, but I think it does get a little overwhelming because, you know, people followed him a lot for his Let's Plays, and when I first followed him back in 2012, I was following him on his original channel way back when, before he lost that one, and he didn't even have a webcam then. He didn't have a video thing. He actually said, and I don't know if the video exists, but I remember this. He was like, I don't want one. I don't want to show my face because it feels like people are like overdoing it or whatever. And then like a week later, he's like, hey guys, look what I got. I got a webcam. I'm like, why do you do this? Really?
Why?
Whatever, dude. You know, you do you. But I don't know. He gets kind of nostalgic on some things, and people wrongfully put him on a pedestal. Because, you know, they see him like, oh, you have all these accomplishment things. It's like, the reason he has such a big following is, one, he's consistent with uploading. He's always consistent, and it was one reason I followed him, was he wanted to upload all the time. And I watched a couple YouTubers before him, and it got frustrating when they would play a game, or they would say, oh, I'd upload, and they didn't keep the schedule. I feel, you know, as someone who's just like a consumer and an audience member, you're like, hey, you told me this, now you've kind of broken that or whatever, but which is mean that I hold people to that standard, because I'm like, I'm gonna upload and I don't do it. Like, I'm just as bad. You know, calling the kettle black here, but with him, he's very consistent with doing that, and he also has a very big and just warm personality. And I think some people fail to realize that because they want to get into YouTube and stuff like that. Like, oh, how do you make it? You know, I talk to a camera and I put, you know, video game content up there, and I have, you know, like 50 followers, and I'm like, it's really a performance of just like, you know, all his charisma and everything when he first, you know, introduces himself, when he says hi, you know, in the start of his video. And the same thing with Jack, and Pewds did the same thing for a while, though he's doing something else. You know, I'm just talking about the top three gamers there, but how you portray yourself and put yourself out there when you start your video really either draws in your audience, or they go, you're boring and I'm going to click off this video. And it's kind of a level of honesty you have to have with yourself, and what audience you're trying to target too, because maybe your personality isn't for gaming but something else.
Yeah, because I know that what draws me into videos is definitely personality. When someone starts off the video and they go, hey guys, here's a video about blah blah blah, but first make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, and you know, stuff like that. And I know Felix just made a video about this, like yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah, just yesterday.
Oh man.
He was saying how it's marketing. Like, he's like, I don't.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Jack. I think maybe it was.
Oh no, Jack was talking about that in I think it was his 100 comment video.
Yes.
It's weird because I've never been really into Jack stuff, but lately I've been watching some of his stuff.
I like his stuff, but I just don't really think to like watch it all the time. I mean, that's the same with Mark though too. I watch his stuff, but it's not like I'm not waiting for that new upload to come up. I'm just like, oh hey,
I have a life.
Look, I may want to work for you, but I gotta make sure that I do my work instead of watching you. So
right.
But like, I know that. Oh my gosh, I'm going off track myself here.
No, it's fine. You can edit it out. I don't care. Just ramble.
With that video though, I was like, for some reason I just wanted to watch that, and I can't believe I watched that because it was over an hour long. I'm like, I've never watched a Jack video for this long in my life, because I like
informative
him.
though. Yeah,
I like him. I never like think to just see his stuff very often. I've never been demanding, have I?
No, you've been very sweet.
Okay, I never try to be demanding. It really upsets me when I see people are friends with artists like just to get art, and I kind of scare myself because I will like ask, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder if this will get drawn, and I'm like, I feel bad because I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be drawn. I want to just talk to them, and I'm like,
Right.
So I feel bad, but at the same time, it really bothers me when people do that. I try.
If you're
just a nice person.
If your intentions are bad, and you are honestly in there just to get free art from someone, an artist is not stupid, whether they're a video maker, whatever content they make. They know, they can tell what you're fishing for. That you're not the first person to do it if you're doing that. So don't feel bad and be like, oh, I hope they don't think that. Like, if they make assumptions, go ahead and clarify yourself. And if they believe you, they believe you. If they don't, then don't worry about it. It's whatever. They're not listening. It's fine. But you've never been mean. You've always been very, very supportive. Even of like my original characters and stuff. It's like, that's kind of cool that someone is sticking around and wants to see what I'm doing. Like that's pretty cool that you stuck around for so long. Like, I haven't messed up that bad. She's still here. This is good. I haven't done bad yet.
I love like fandom things like custom OC Darkipliers and stuff like that. But I love OCs. OCs are something that I can get down for, because I'm like, that's something that they made, that they really poured their heart into, and I can get behind it. And I know Day was really worried because she had a Darkiplier and she changed him into Tenebris. I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure. And I looked at him and I'm like, okay, he's now a Spanish gremlin. I still love him, I'm like, it hasn't changed. And I'm like, I followed these artists for years. Like, I followed you and Day and Kimmy, and I followed all of you originally for Dark. But then when I seen just how you guys are, I'm like, oh man, I just like these people. These are good people. And so it's just like,
I haven't messed up yet. Yay!
You all are just nice people, and I just enjoy it. And Miv, I haven't known her for as long as I've known you and Kimmy and Day.
Right.
But she's super nice too. Like, the other day I got so mad because a certain artist was writing some bad things.
I saw that.
Yeah, and
I don't say anything. I see everything. Just because I don't say it, I see it.
She said the same thing. I just was so mad, and I can't talk to my friend about it because he's like, I really don't want people to know who this is, but he'll sit there and go, he feels like Mark is the type of person who's just there for the money.
No.
It's like, that's what all business, that's what it is. It's a business. That's how Felix and all the bigger YouTubers are. They know it's a business, and they do this sort of stuff for business. And so I can't really talk to him about anything, because it's like...
Let me tell you something with my short little interaction with Mark, and he was very kind to me. I've done Wade's icon too, and I've worked with Wade a couple of times, and he's very sweet. Both of those friends, they're just awesome people, but working with Mark, because he wanted to pay me for the original design, as a commission kind of thing. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, and I said a low price, and he's like, that's far too low. I have to pay you more for this. And he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But he said, and I set the price myself, and I was like, oh, wow, thank you. And after the t-shirt sales were done, he was so blown away about how good, how much was made just from the shirt sales alone, that he tipped me triple what he gave me originally, because he was so appreciative of everything that just came from it, and people get weird, when someone is successful and they have money. It's like, he's lucky. He's very lucky. He's very fortunate.
Well, he's even said that, he doesn't care if his channel just drops. The only thing he's worried about is upsetting his fans, and he doesn't even care if
Jack is very much the same.
Yeah, and Jack's a sweetheart. I know he's a sweetheart. I don't know why I definitely, when Antisepticeye was a thing, I was right on the ball for that. And I don't know why, because I'm serious. That stuff scares me, and I don't know why, but for some reason I'm like, ooh, I want to see it though. It scares me, but I want to see it.
You got a morbid fascination with it. That's what it is.
Ah.
You can't stay away. It's the same thing with me. It's like, it's funny because I'm a strawberry blonde woman who dresses in, you know, kind of brightish colors. I don't wear like white or anything, but I wear like, you know, nice kind of bright tops and jeans or things like that. And then I draw horrifying things. It's great. You know, no one would know, and it's very frustrating when people are like, "Oh, you make art? What can I see you?" I'm just like, I come with a warning label. Yeah, it's a little catch 22 or whatever that phrase is, but I get my phrases wrong. I always mix them up. But you know, it's interesting that way. But yeah, I know a lot of people are just like, "Oh, he's just in it for the money." I'm like, he didn't have to be so nice, and Wade didn't have to be so nice to me either. Like, you know, who you are and what you put stuff out there is a big reflection of what you want to bring in. You know, it's, you know, take and give kind of thing. And he wants to put out positive vibes and positivity, and he wants to focus on giving back to his community and giving back to just, you know, everyone around him, and just influencing people that way. And you know, I understand people sometimes go like, "Oh, he's just in it for the money and stuff." Whatever, dude. Like, you can see it how you want, but and I'm not saying I'm close friends with Mark, by far, not even close. But you know, just look at what he's doing and realize that he's really not who, you know, people want to paint him to be. And I find a lot of people that say that too are kind of jealous. They won't admit it, but a lot of times they're like, "Well, I can make video game, you know, videos and stuff like that and put them on the internet." I'm like, dude, there's a reason these people have editors and teams, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's more than just slapping a webcam on and then playing a game. It's as a video editor, I know that I've made a few videos where it's me and my friend playing games, but I don't really expect them to get a lot of views because it's like so many people are doing it. I just put them up for fun. And, you know, I just put up like the funny bits for me and the editing and stuff that I could do. And I also do it because it helps me to edit original stuff.
I see a passion in it, and I can see you're kind of a little bit struggling right now. Like you said, you're like, I'm a little bit lost and kind of stuff like that. But I think if you focus on the art part of that, and you push yourself, and you really get into video editing, even if it's something that, you know, stays a hobby for you for the rest of your life, if you're really passionate about it, other people will see it. And I'm being egotistical butt about this, but the first thing, you know, that Mark remembered from me was that dark piece. And then he came back to me and he saw the little thing in my Twitter feed and was like, "Oh, it's a newer piece, you know, for me." Like, he remembered because he saw that, but I made those two things because I wanted to. I was having fun. And he could see that. And I think a problem that is easy to get hung up on is if you're trying to get someone's attention, your work is just going to reflect that, and it's not going to reflect you.
Yeah.
And it's an easy trap to get into, and I see that a lot with people who try to make fan art, and they just want to, you know, it's a quick kind of thing to get to, and I'm not saying you're doing it to be like, "Oh, now I'm, you know, famous," or whatever. Like, it's not even that. Like, the thing with that people don't understand with quote famous people is that the reason they're at the top is because they keep working hard to stay there. And it's not all glam and things like that. Like, you can even look at some actors who, you know, after they're done shooting for the day, they go to the gym for the next 5 hours because their role requires them to look buff as hell.
Yeah.
You know, it's the things you don't see that go into that. But what you're making right now, I'm really proud, and to see you really just push yourself and keep going. And I think if you network and you talk to people and, you know, you're like, "Hey, if you like my thing, you know, that's cool." If, you know, not like, you don't have to throw it in people's faces, but be proud of what you make and share and experiment with stuff and just keep doing it, because one day someone will see it and be like, "Hey, I want to work with you," you know.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different thing than you reaching out for them, and it's cool, but you just got to keep going for it.
I know that Tumblr's like, I think it's just because I'm so like connected with Tumblr for years now. I'm very into I like the Markiplier community. I feel like it's like a family, and so I'm always. It is a big family, but it's like I'm always trying to like connect with the community, and so there's times where I'll make edits, and it's not even for Mark. It's just for other people who like the stuff.
Right.
And if Mark sees it, that's cool. If he doesn't, it's fine. He's reblogged a few things of mine on Tumblr, and it always catches me off guard. Because I'm like, normally I don't make it for him. I make it for just the community. There was even a time, and I'm pretty sure it was in 2014, I was at school, so it was bad, but he doesn't know that. I was looking on Markiplier videos and answering comments of people who had questions about certain things that I just knew from watching his stuff before. And then I wrote on Tumblr, I'm like, I kind of feel good about this. I'm helping the community by asking questions, or not asking questions, but by answering questions of things that I know and stuff. And then he replied to that, and he's like, oh, thank you so much for helping. And I'm like, hey, that's so cool. I'm like, he noticed that I did that. I'm like, I didn't even want him to, but he did anyway. And it's like, so I do notice that especially if I'm doing stuff that's for the community and not for him, he always sees it.
He sees all.
Always catches it.
He does.
For people who don't know, you don't really have to tag Mark in a post on Tumblr. You just have to put it in the hashtag. And if you put that in the hashtag, I swear, he's always in it. And I know he's a busy man, but he's always in that hashtag. Because I know for a fact that I've made things and I will put it in the hashtag and I'm like, haha, he won't see it. And 3 seconds later, it's reblogged. And he's like, haha, I caught it. And I'm like, no.
He's good. You never know. He can be a little busy guy, and people forget that he's got ADD. So I have an idea, and then like 5 minutes later, it's I have another idea, and he sets his phone down or he does something else, and he's off doing whatever. But he sees all.
After the charity stream, that's when I really unfollowed them, and I was really upset because they're like, oh, he's taken most of the money for the charity, and most of that money is just going to him because on the website it says that there's a cut, and they're like, how big is that cut, and blah blah blah. And I want you to explain this because I know with you being involved in that charity, I want you to tell this.
Okay, so basically what that meant was the production cost of the t-shirts. That's what it meant, because you're paying for the material, but any of the money. So you put your work up on Redbubble, right?
Yeah. And
you can set the percentage of how much you make, but the rest of that money is production cost. So, like, I have stickers up that are like $3, right?
Yeah.
I make about 25 cents off of that, 50 cents.
Yeah.
So the rest of that, $2.50 is shipping, is production, is materials, and ink, and everything else that goes into making that product. So that's where that money is going. It's not going, to someone's pocket or anything. It's these shirts need to be made, and obviously the company needs to go buy materials to make that product. The money that would have gone, to the company for profit, that's going to the charity. So that's where all that extra, what was it, 190,000 just from the shirts came from. Yeah. That much. So that's what it meant, but they're obviously like, oh, look, not all the money. I'm like, well, duh, you have a product being made. Yeah. The company's not going to make something, and pull a rabbit out of their hat, like, oh, I have all this material. No, it costs, its production cost is what it is. So.
Because I've got my Redbubble stuff up right now to look at the pricing and stuff. And the hoodies were around like $50, right? I'm thinking. I don't remember.
Well, my problem is that I would ask Mivy, but she's Australian, so it was like $90 her end, but Australian dollar is different from US, so they were a bit more pricey. Like the shirts were about $30 there, so.
So my shirts can go from it says t-shirts and hoodies. They can go from $20.75 or $54.35. What I make out of that money is $3.46 or $9.06.
Yeah.
A lot of that goes towards production, and because I have a 20% margin, the higher I put that, the higher higher the price is going to go. I had it at 40%, and I was getting like $200 a month because people just like my work and they would buy it. But then it became too much. My shirts were like $30. The hoodies were like 60. People didn't want to pay that price. And I mean, I'm probably going to talk down to myself, but I don't think my designs are that good to where they should be $60 for a hoodie. So I put the pricing down to 20%, and then that's what comes out of it. That's how it's going to be with anything. If you're not making it out of your basement, it's and like even then you're going to still have to pay for material. Yeah. So it's and that might be something some people need to look into, is like actually get a printer for your stuff and actually get the materials for it, and then come back to me and tell me how much that costs, plus what you're going to benefit from selling the shirt. Yeah. You know, it's the same thing. I don't know if you've ever been to, you can go to an art store, or like, I'm thinking of like Kinko's or, FedEx and little printing places like that. If you want a quality print of a photo and have it framed, that's easily going to cost you about $100 for a big print for the stuff that they make, because you're paying for the material, paying for the ink, and you're paying for the framing and everything like that. You're paying for something. Trying to think back to the marketing class I had. So, like, if you have something that's abundant of materials and it's easy and quick to make, it's obviously going to cost less. Yeah. And then, the more desirable it is, the higher the price, blah, 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 material. It's just everything, like that. And it's just it was them putting that up to just cause more trouble, and people who are ignorant about the production and how the shirts are made are just going to fall prey to that. So, I was surprised to see that some people were believing it. I'm like, no, you can't. I'm like, come on, you can't do that. That's what they're just reading the words. They're not looking up like, well, where does that money go? They're not thinking about it. They're just going, well, seeing is believing. I'm like, no, you have to read a little bit more to that. Always get both sides of the story. Yeah. And I mean, I heard that Mark does charity streams because of his dad. Yes. Okay. That's what I heard. I wanted to make sure it was true before I said it. That's something he said a long time ago, okay. But yes. To me, that's a very good thing. That's a very noble cause. And I don't see how someone who can say something like that would just lie about the charity streams. And so when people sit there and believe something like that, I think that's what infuriated me more than anything else. So that PSA, real quick. Yeah. If you meet someone that you like, cough, cough, Mark, in person, don't attack him. Don't glomp him. Don't grab any part of him that he doesn't want to be grabbed at. Don't do that. That's something that I've been seeing a lot. And that scares me. To see people say that. And him say that it's a normal occurrence. That's frustrating. And it sucks too, because I don't know where he lives in LA, but I know LA, he's more likely to run into people who are like, oh my god, I recognize you. It's like, okay, as someone, who's I've talked to people who like have met famous people or whatever, especially, okay, if you see someone that's famous, popular, whatever, and say they're with their family or they're with friends and they're eating somewhere, do not go up to them and start a conversation. That is the rudest thing you can do. Let them finish their meal, and if you see them walk outside, then you can approach them and say, hey, can I have you for a moment, or can I talk to you for a moment? But when you're interrupting them, like, put yourself in their shoes. You're having a good time with your friends, and someone comes up and is like, oh my god, you're that person. You're like, oh, okay. Now I have to, talk to you for a minute. Like, that sounds mean. Like, I have to talk to you, but it's rude. It's uncomfortable. It's inconsiderate. It's very inconsiderate. Did you see the video that someone posted that someone did that? I saw it. Someone did that to him. He was out eating, and he was with Catherine and Amy and Ethan, and I think Tyler was there too, but I'm not sure. And this whole family went up to him, and they're like, hey, Mark, we really want to get a picture with you. And he's looking at everybody, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, it's fine. And you could tell he was like a little upset. How embarrassed. But, like, how embarrassed would you be? It's oh man. And I remember, I don't know how you feel about him, but I have Shane Dawson's book. Indifferent. my selfie. And he told a story about how he's had different fan interactions, but the one that was probably the worst for him was when he was at a Mexican restaurant, and he had to go to the bathroom, and there was just these, like, 3 kids who went running up to him, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we know who you are," and stuff, and they blocked the bathroom so he couldn't get in there. And he was like starting to get frustrated, and he wasn't being mean. No,
I'd get mean at that point. Like, dude, I'm gonna pee on the floor, and you're not gonna like me. Then you will not be my fan.
please, just let me
please leave.
But he said the thing that upset him the most was that someone told him that he was uglier in person.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Just awful. Don't say things like that. Like, that's just mean.
Like, thanks. Now I'm gonna remember you for being a giant douchebag to me. Cool. If I ever see you again, I'm gonna be like, hey, you're that guy.
Hey, you're that person that called me ugly.
Yeah.
Thanks.
God.
I think that's something that scares me the most, is that I feel like if I ever was to see Mark in public, I would probably never say anything. Because I'm like, I don't know if this is appropriate or not. And I, like, when they're eating, that's something especially, but, like, let's say, they went to the dog park with Chica. Because they did that for the day with Chica. They weren't, like, recording or anything, but they were just there to let Chica run around. I'm like, okay, do I say anything to him? Do I not? Like, do I just kind of... Because to me, that'd be a good opportunity to be like, hey, you know, I think
more in public places, it's okay. But, like, the food setting thing, like you said, which that's really sad. I've never seen that video, and that's heartbreaking that someone... That's not heartbreaking, but it's just... I don't like that. The fact that anyone would do that to him is just not cool. You want to wrap this up?
Alright.
Got any more questions? I've given you too much to edit out, and I apologize.
That's fine.
But, you know.
A whole hour, 2-hour thing. That'd be fine. I wouldn't mind that at all. But, I don't have any last questions. I really enjoyed talking to you. I hope that we can talk more, just like at a friend level.
Yeah, that's fine. Pop in anytime, you know, dude. Even if it takes me a week to respond, I will respond.
Okay. He's like in the ball. Okay. So this has been another episode of Tea Time with Barry. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. I hope you have a good week, a good day, good year, good rest of your life, and I will see you in the next episode. Okay, so Thursday.
Bye. Bye. Bye.